What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. I wanted to follow up a previous video, guys, that we made on the YouTube channel talking about Dr. Disrespect, one of the greatest streamers of all time, in my personal opinion, and a real, guys, this is a guy who I've looked up to when it came to the streaming realm, a guy who I believe has done an incredible job of just, really mastering his craft when it came to just to Twitch as a whole, and his approach has been just incredible, right? As far as from just a perspective of the team he has around him, and his ability to, when it comes to streaming in character and being in character as Dr. Disrespect, has just been something that has almost transcended gaming. I've said that in our previous video that you guys can check out here on the YouTube channel, but he just has become more, he's almost transcended gaming, or even outside of gaming, to an international scope where, many people out there across the world know who he is, even outside of gaming. And it's a pretty special thing to be that guy. But with that, guys, I wanted to follow up with what we talked about, which many people have stated, lots of theories, lots of rumors and rumblings about what's going on with Dr. Disrespect, that he has done, according to a number of reports, that he is pretty much not going to be able, for one reason or another, to continue streaming on any platform, that is, let alone Twitch, where he was permanently banned, which we are still waiting to hear from. And with that, guys, I want to talk about, where is Dr. Disrespect? And pretty much, guys, there's no official confirmation here other than a tweet that came from Dr. Disrespect himself stating, "Champions Club, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time. Dr. Disrespect." And this was done on June 27th, guys. Okay, so we're in July, and what I will say is, it's been a while since we heard from him after this tweet came out, but it's the last that we heard of anything. And what's very interesting, guys, is there's a ton of speculation that this is all a publicity stunt, that he's going to be moving over to a different platform, or he's actually still a part of Twitch, but there's just like this big announcement that's coming out. There's been a talk that he's being, there's been allegations made against him. There's a ton of stuff, guys, right? Where is he, though? That's the big question, because right now, I think it's one thing that I think is, that I give them significant props for, is that Dr. Disrespect and his team around him have not let this leak out. Because usually in the gaming community, when there's something big that's going to happen, usually it comes out one way or another. Someone that's, within the inner circle of some of these personalities, or a family member, someone usually knows what's going on, and then it gets leaked out, like what actually happened or what's going on. This has been really tightly under wraps, and pretty much what it's created is so much speculation across the communities, guys, of gaming as a whole, as to what it is. Now, there are people out there that state that they do know what is going on, but they are not going to speak about it. They're not going to say anything, which is a very interesting ordeal. I'm not sure exactly the reasoning behind that. I have no idea, why it just hasn't gone public yet. But I'm sure, guys, within, coming up, at some point or another here, we're going to hear more. It's obvious. We're going to know what's going on at some point or another. Interestingly enough, Twitch has not actually stated why Dr. Disrespect was banned, and they don't usually tell everyone why someone's banned or for what reason. Sometimes they just state that they don't condone certain things that the streamer or personality was doing. But with that, it's a very interesting thing, guys. I've got to say, I am, at this point, I've never seen, and I've been doing this, I've been, within the gaming community and been a part of this whole thing since pretty much 2008, 2009, and I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen something happen to a streamer, or, a content creator of this magnitude, and we don't know what's going on, and we're into July now, it's been now a little while since this tweet came out, and we haven't heard anything as to what's going on. I would assume, guys, where Dr. Disrespect is, and this is pure speculation, that if this is a publicity stunt, which I don't believe it is, because I just don't know why Twitch would go ahead and be refunding everyone who subscribed to Dr. Disrespect. But with that, I believe that this is, he's trying to figure it out behind the scenes, trying to, there's a move that's coming. He's making a move, or there's going to be a huge announcement that comes out. And whether it's a positive or negative announcement, it's hard to say, but, and it's anybody's guess. All I can say, guys, is that, my thoughts are with Dr. Disrespect. I just hope everything's okay. I hope that it's, because this is a guy who I've really enjoyed watching from an entertainment perspective. I hope hope everything's okay. I hope there's nothing like super negative coming out about this. It doesn't look good as an outsider looking in. It doesn't look good, but I'm really hoping, guys, that we just all, the Champions Club, all of us who are supporters of Dr. Disrespect and enjoy his content that he brings out to all of us here in the world, I think that we just got to stay positive at this point and, think positively at this point and just kind of wait until we hear more. And once we do, guys, I will be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out, and we'll kind of break it down and talk about it. And with that, guys, I want to pass it on to all of you. Where do you guys think Dr. Disrespect is at this point in time? Do you think he's just working out things behind the scenes for his next move, or do you think he's trying to work on, is this something, legal that he has to work on, with his team and such, against Twitch or against someone else? It's hard to say, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. And for more content like this, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel a number of times, guys, about the LA Noire franchise, or really just the single game at this point. Is this going to become a franchise is another question that I definitely want to continue talking about in this segment of the show. And with that, guys, we've talked about the past of LA Noire, and then we've talked about, the present and now the future of this game and what could be a franchise that we will be getting from Rockstar. And with that, guys, I wanted to talk about LA Noire 2 and everything that we know so far about this game. That being all of the things that we know, the things that are getting leaked out, and the things that very well could be happening behind the scenes over at Rockstar. Now, guys, this is going to be a lot of speculation. There have been leaks that have come out, which has been the same for games like Bully, games like Max Payne. So it's hard to say whether or not. You got to kind of take it with a pinch of salt as we go through this. But we'll break down some of these things, and then we'll talk about whether we think LA Noire 2 is in development or one of the other games by Rockstar at this point in time. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. And an article, guys, that was written by Adrian Willings of Pocket Lint. It's been a long time since the original LA Noire released, approximately 9 years. Since then, we've had a few remastered versions, including one for Nintendo Switch, and even a cut-down first-person styled VR version, but not much heard much about a sequel. That might be about to change through, as Reddit users has found potential clues suggesting that the sequel might be in the works. While listening to some tunes on YouTube, one user accidentally stumbled across a video uploaded by Warner Chappell Music as a topic page. That video had a description that read, "Provided to YouTube by Take-Two Interactive, Break My Stride, Matthew Wilder, the music of LA Noire Part 2, 2020 Warner Chappell Music released." It was auto-generated by YouTube. So what they're basically saying is that LA Noire Part 2, guys, the video has since been taken down and the channel removed too. But listeners noticed a few gems before it went missing. Firstly, the song was introduced by a DJ who mentioned the name of the radio station as being KTI Radio, a station that appeared in the first game. Secondly, the songs heard on that channel were Break My Stride and I Love New York, two tunes made in the late 70s, early 80s. This might suggest a new era for the sequel and something very different for the future outing. Now, look, this is obviously significant speculation, guys, but this is something that you have to think about at the same time, okay? When you're saying LA Noire Part 2, number one, okay? And what I will say about that is if it's called Part 2, it actually would make more sense than it being called LA Noire 2. If it was just called LA Noire Part 2, I think that would make some sense. But really, like, that as a leak It does, honestly, guys, I did not listen to the track myself, as far as, from the DJ who mentioned the name of the radio station as being KTI, which of course is, from the first game. It's interesting to say the least. What I will say is this, is even though I don't believe that this is the next game coming out by Rockstar, I think we all can agree, guys, that Rockstar's next game is most likely GTA 6, which is very highly anticipated at the very least. After GTA 6 comes out, then there's a real question, though, as to what's next. I don't think they're going to go back to Red Dead Redemption 3 as of yet. I think that that'll be longer down the road. It comes down to really two games for me. Since Bully 2 got canceled, I think it comes down to either LA Noire 2 or Max Payne 4. And I've said this on a number of occasions, guys, on the YouTube channel, that I believe it's Max Payne 4. I think Max Payne has a bigger fan base and a bigger following, and I think that they could, potentially, do more there from a multiplayer perspective and from just all the way around. LA Noire, not saying that, this has a relatively nice-sized fan base, especially based on one game, but I thought that it's certainly something that I've thought of that it's going to come out at some point or another. I just don't know where down the road here. I think that they certainly have more stories to tell within this universe. However, it really depends on, a number of different factors. I'd love to know from you guys, though. Do you guys think LA Noire 2 is going to be coming out before Max Payne 4? Or how do you guys see that? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Another article, guys, from Pedridge Cotter of Screen Rant writes, the original was praised for its unique gameplay, but will LA Noire 2 ever happen? And so this article, guys, was written back in 2019, but I find that some of these things, that some of those first, rumblings and talks of LA Noire 2 coming out started back then, and we've been getting them consistently ever since. The first game was a unique open-world noir detective story, but will LA Noire 2 ever happen? LA Noire cast players as Cole Phelps, a former Marine turned dedicated LAPD detective. In addition to letting Phelps drive around a large sandbox city and activate side quests, the central gameplay mechanic involved interrogations and examining evidence. And what I will say, guys, I've said this as well a number of times, that was what made LA Noire so unique, was the interrogations, examining evidence and such. It was kind of just a laid-back game, a chill game that you had to think about at certain points in time, and then, it was just kind of not necessarily mindless fun, but it was very much so I really enjoyed the experience. I didn't think I was going to like it that much, but I was really glad that I did play LA Noire, and I'm excited to see a continuation here, I hope, at some point down the road. Now, LA Noire is still one of Rockstar's most original titles and was acclaimed upon release for the quality of the story and the performances. The game also pioneered a new technology that scanned actors' faces, allowing for a greater range of expression. Now, obviously, guys, there were problems with the game without a doubt, but LA Noire 2 was teased shortly after the release of the original. So LA Noire took 7 years for Team Bondi to develop, which accounts for the game's ambition. While the game was critically acclaimed upon release and sold very well, it was also an expensive title to develop. Nonetheless, Rockstar and parent company Take-Two sounded confident LA Noire was going to be the start of a brand new franchise. Comments in 2012 and 2013 suggested LA Noire 2 was very much a possibility, but no concrete details were given. Rockstar is known to take their time developing sequels. Of course, guys, the 8-year gap between Red Dead Redemption and its ambitious 2018 sequel. While it's possible LA Noire is being developed quietly, not a lot has been heard since then. Now, one big thing, guys, that we do know, and some of these are reasons as to why I believe that LA Noire 2 very well may not be the continuation or the next game in the series, say after GTA 6, if that's what the next game is going to be by Rockstar, is because Team Bondi disbanded in 2011. Despite the success of LA Noire, Team Bondi folded shortly after the game's release amid complaints of unethical treatment of staff during the game's development. Creative director Brendan McNamara and other former Team Bondi members moved on to the development of a spiritual successor called Whore of the Orient, which was set in Shanghai in 1936. Now, at the end of the day, guys, Is there going to be an LA Noire 2? I think we can all probably agree that there's certainly a possibility. The demise of Team Bondi doesn't necessarily spell doom for LA Noire 2, but the lack of movement on a follow-up suggests Rockstar don't consider it a priority either. While the original game is well regarded, with the game's 2017 Switch port reminding everyone just how unique it was, there has been little sign of a sequel. So with that, guys, here's what I'll say. There hasn't been a lot. There's been rumblings, like we said, with some of these leaks and things that are coming out slowly but surely. But there's also signs that this isn't coming out anytime soon. There are signs that potentially LA Noire is going to, come out with the sequel. But I think it might be a ways off. It may be years away still, guys, just because if we got GTA 6 coming out next, we haven't even had that announced yet. If that's the next thing in line, you've got, GTA 6 and then let's say LA Noire 2 comes out afterwards, you're looking at years down the road. Even a Max Payne 4, which I believe is going to be next after GTA 6. If you have GTA 6 and then Max Payne 4 and then LA Noire Part 2, you're looking at a long time until that sequel comes out. It may very well be worth the wait. Things like Team Bondi, being disbanded, I think that for Rockstar, it's, they can obviously, they've got the foundation now with LA Noire from the first game of what to kind of build off of. So getting another developer to kind of work on that, I think that they could certainly do it. It's hard to say though, guys, at this point. I think it's years away. It's going to be a ways off. And I think we will certainly hear more about this as we get closer. And I'll be sure to keep you guys all up to speed as more information comes out. Let me know though in the comment section down below. The real question here, guys, is will LA Noire 2 come out at some point or another in the foreseeable future by Rockstar Games? Let me know what you guys think. And for more LA Noire 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. One of the most exciting, first-person shooters out there right now, guys, is none other than Valorant. Riot's shooter game that is really, at the end of the day, guys, is getting a lot of buzz. Lots of people really enjoying this game, and I think that this is just another shooter in the space, guys, that is going to grow and grow over time with, of course, Riot's, their team around this game. I think that this is going to be a really special experience long-term. Now, with that, though, the big question, Riot has, of course, been mainly focused on none other than League of Legends, and now working on Valorant. It's great that this is a game that's been released to the world at this point. However, the question lies in, is this going to be a title that comes to consoles? And I'm going to give you guys my reasons why I really want to see it come to consoles. I'm going to also talk about, is this something that is going to happen at some point or another in the future? Because lots of people in the community are certainly talking about it. So let's get into it. In an article, guys, that of course was written by The Loadout, Valorant console release date. Is Riot's Valorant coming to PlayStation and Xbox? When is Valorant coming to console? Ever since Riot Games revealed it was bringing out a first-person tactical shooter, this has been one of the main questions on the lips of console gamers. Following its initial reveal, in which it was shown as a weird mix between Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Overwatch, fans have been waiting for more information on its release date. With the game now officially out of closed beta and fully released on PC, we've heard lots about the game's many agents, their abilities and weapons, and of course Valorant Ranked. But console gamers have been looking on enviously. There might be some good news on the horizon for console gamers, though. Valorant hasn't been out for very long, but Riot Games has already entertained the idea of porting the game. And with the next generation of consoles due shortly, Valorant on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo consoles might be closer than we first thought. So with that, guys, I gotta say, Riot Games, and I've said this in the past, that they are taking an aggressive approach to take over esports as we know it, whether we're talking from, just MMORPGs to shooters to card games to all of these different segments of gaming, guys. They're trying to take an aggressive approach to take over esports, but at the same time, they're also trying to take over a lot of the gaming space as a whole. And if they put Valorant on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, all I will say is this. that it would, and especially if they start enabling like crossplay and such, they would be doing something that, Counter-Strike has never done, and they would be doing something that would be somewhat similar to that of like Call of Duty, but even more so because if they made it crossplay, it would be something unlike anything that we've seen from Riot. With that, Riot Games hasn't revealed if Valorant is coming to console just yet, but it's looking pretty positive. In an interview with GameSpot executive producer Anna Dolan says Riot Games is definitely prototyping a port right now, while she admits it's not a priority for the company and that there might be some elements of the game that don't translate to console play. The team are definitely entertaining the notion. If we feel we can deliver this experience on those platforms, we absolutely will, she tells GameSpot. But we really want Valorant to stand for a certain type of gameplay and a certain type of experience. It's not a no for sure, she later added. If the team were to do it, the port would be delayed. Earlier during the PC's closed beta, Valorant's lead designer Trevor Romlensky confirmed Riot was open to exploring new opportunities for other platforms. So at the end of the day, guys, when they say that they're open to it, that means that it's on their mind. And even though it's probably not a top priority, as they said, I think it's important for us to kind of look. If you're a console gamer, and I certainly play, mainly console. I love playing PC, but I love playing console as well. If you're a console gamer, guys, don't get your hopes up that it's going to come out really soon, but I think that you can certainly, definitely keep tabs on what's going on with Valorant, and as time goes, I'm sure it may be very much so, closer than we actually think. Currently, a release date hasn't been set by Riot Games for any console. We know the developer is testing a port, but the company hasn't specified if and when a port will be available. Since ironing out the kinks in the PC launch is still a priority for the team, it might be a while before we hear if the prototype port has been a success and when we could be seeing it on the likes of the PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, or any of the next-gen consoles. So, with that, guys, what I'll say is that I would say we're probably going to hear more information on this closer to the release of the next-gen consoles, and I would say maybe even a little bit after that. They may very well be working to put these on the next-gen consoles, which would be really interesting for Valorant at the end of the day. I absolutely, guys, would love to see Valorant do this because I think it's going to really broaden the horizon. It's going to build the fan base in a major way because it's going to not only be on PC, it's also going to be on consoles, because there is even though the PC market is bigger, you've got the console market is still really large as well. So if you really could tap into all of both of those markets, similar to games like Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, and the likes of these other big free-to-play games, I think that you would have something really special on your hands. Now, as far as if you're going to do the esports side of things, most likely you're not going to do console, esports with Valorant. You would be more so like PC, but at the end of the day, as long as we as console gamers have access to playing Valorant, I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day. But let me know, guys, in the comment section down below, do you think it's a good idea for Valorant to be on consoles as well as PC? Do you guys want it to happen? Do you think it'll happen? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Valorant content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. It seems like every day we're getting more and more information about Hyperscape, guys, the newest and brand new Battle Royale game that's hitting the scene, guys, from Ubisoft. And what I will say is this, that this game reminds me a lot of Tron. It reminds me a lot of Watch Dogs. It's got some, like kudos to other Battle Royale games like that of Call of Duty Warzone or even Apex Legends. And what I will say is, guys, that there are some very unique things within this Battle Royale, and I think it's going to continue evolving as more information comes out. But at this point in time, I thought it was really important to do the top 5 things that we want in Hyperscape. And when I say we, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys mainly, talking about myself here and my opinions. I know some of you will share similar opinions, some of you may not. I want to hear your top 5 things that you want in Hyperscape in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So coming in at number 1 for me, guys, is I want Hyperscape to be its own thing, its own type of BR. Now look, the Battle Royale overall hasn't evolved, a ton. It's kind of one of those things, like each Battle Royale has differences at the end of the day. which is fine, but I really want it to be its own thing. I don't want it just to technically be, incredibly similar to one of the other battle royales like Apex Legends or to Call of Duty or something. And from what we've seen so far of the game, obviously, I don't think that's the case. I think that it is going to be its own thing. I just think that it needs to have differences. Each battle royale, in my opinion, has to have differences to get people to try it out. And I really want, and it looks to be from just what they've built here. I think it's really cool with Neo Arcadia. I love the way it looks. It looks very futuristic. It looks techy. I love what they've built here. I just want it to be its own thing, though, at the end of the day. And I know that they've stated, the developers stating that there's going to be a battle pass and a season pass, or a battle pass, whatever it is. And there's going to be numbers of different other things that are to come, which is great, which is what a lot of these developers are now doing, is they're updating it on a consistent basis, because Battle Royale, guys, is just a cash machine when it at the end of the day. And I think Hyperscape is going to be no different in that, from that perspective. And I think that this could be the next big BR, to say the least. Coming in number 2, though, guys, I really want this game, and we don't know this, there's been rumblings and talk of it, but I really want to see modes outside of BR with Hyperscape. So with that, what I mean, guys, is I'll give you the best comparison. Call of Duty. Okay, so you got Call of Duty Warzone, which is the BR mode. But then when you get sick of playing the BR mode, which pretty much all of us do at some point or another, you go on and you can either go play a different BR, a different game altogether, or you can go and play multiplayer modes within Call of Duty. And so what I'm getting at is you can play Team Deathmatch, you can play, Search and Destroy, and all these other different game modes outside of that, of the BR, and they're all on like different maps and such. So what I'm getting at is I would like to see Hyperscape, even though it's a BR, mainly a BR, I'd like to see modes outside of it like Team Deathmatch, or, even their own different kinds of game modes that they may decide to pick and choose, and have other maps, like, smaller maps and such than that of like the BR, that we can play on, that can also help you with the movement system and getting used to everything in a faster paced environment, even though the BR side of it looks pretty fast paced, to say the least. But I'm just saying that I think having other ways that you can connect with this game is going to really help in the long run, building and really, what it can really do, though, guys, at the end of the day, is it can actually kind of transcend the Battle Royale genre and continue to kind of move it in a certain direction. Having other game modes outside the BR, that's different from all the other BRs out there, except for Call of Duty. I mean, it's different than Apex, different than Fortnite, which is basically specific to Battle Royale. Now, Fortnite has like Team Deathmatch, but it's all on the same map. It's all on, the Battle Royale map. It's not on separate maps and such. So they do different modes, but it's all on the same map. And I'm just saying that over time, I'm afraid that it's going to get stale, and that's why I think it's important to have other modes outside of it. But with that, guys, that leads me to number 3, which is each of the characters that you can play as within this in this game. I think what really helps, in my opinion, is obviously having ways in which that we can connect with these characters, but I think a great way to do that would be backstory on each of the characters. So if they had backstory or like character missions where you kind of learn more about each of the characters, you start to kind of connect with them. If you start learning more about them and the lore and such of Neo Arcadia and what they're trying to build here with Hyperscape, I think that's a really important thing and something that they should definitely do. Having backstory on some of the characters, having like character missions that you can play where you can understand more about each of the characters. And as new characters get implemented or introduced, we're able to play like new missions and such. I just think that that's just another way, guys, to really build this thing out. Especially if, as we get to number 4 here, guys, if some of those characters are characters from another IP from Ubisoft. So I'll give you an example. This game reminds me, like I said earlier, of Watch Dogs. What if Hyperscape, we don't know if this is true or not, but there's been rumblings and talk of it that Hyperscape is in the Watch Dogs universe. And if that is true, I would love to see that. I want to see Ubisoft tie this game into one of their current IPs. I think that would be really interesting, similar to like what Apex Legends did, how it's tied into the Titanfall, series. I think that would be really interesting to see them do something like that. Like whether it's Watch Dogs or one of their other games, I think it would be really interesting. And I actually think that what Apex has done so well is now that everyone knows that Apex Legends is within the Titanfall universe, when another Titanfall game comes out, I think, which I would assume there is going to be another Titanfall that comes out, Apex Legends is already set to really help promote it so that it actually does really well and it's a significant success. And so what I'm saying is Hyperscape could kind of do the same exact thing if it was, trying to promote, say, Watch Dogs Legion, or it's in that same universe. It would be something pretty special, I believe. And that leads me, guys, to number 5, which, look, at the end of the day, having a battle pass and all of those things is really cool, but I really think something that sets, a lot of those cosmetic items and such apart is when they're earnable items. And so my last thing is I really want earnable items that, which would be, outside of the payable items, the things that you can pay for. I want to see where you can earn stuff more than you can necessarily buy stuff. I think that obviously this is a free-to-play game, so they're going to have microtransactions, and that's fine because it justifies it because it's free to play. However, I also think it would be really cool to see having earnable items that you can earn in-game, that when you're in the, in-game lobbies, whatever it might be, you can see everyone's titles, their emblems and characters and such, and you can see that, how much time they've put into the game based on their titles, based on their emblems and such. You can see they did all these really cool things. Their rank and everything else. I think having earnable items over the payable items would be awesome because that would get people to come back to the game over and over again to try to earn those things. And so earnable items, guys, I think would be huge. We haven't really seen it that much up to this point when it comes to, BR. We see a lot more of you buy the battle pass and then you can earn things within the battle pass, or you can just pay for them outright. Get earnable items, and I think that you're going to really build a solid fan base, and a lot of players that keep on coming back for more. And so those are the 5 things, guys, that I really want to see here out of Hyperscape. And look, overall, guys, I'm pretty impressed by it. I think it looks like it kind of has, it has, ties, it looks like, to Watch Dogs. It's got the kudos to Apex or to Call of Duty, but it is still its own thing. It kind of looks like Tron. It looks like, and I think that some of the things that they may add into this game over time could be really cool. That real futuristic type of style game. And with that though, guys, I am excited, to say the least, to, continue bringing out content for all of you about Hyperscape. I hope that this is a game that really can, withstand the test of time here as more and more battle royales come out, and I believe it certainly will. Let me know, though, in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about Hyperscape? What are your top 5 things that you guys want to see in this game? Let me know, guys, and for more Hyperscape content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.